What if I told you, chosen one, that your very presence changes the atmosphere before you ever speak a word? What if I told you that women feel something shift around you long before they can explain it? That the air itself bends when you arrive, and instincts awaken that they did not know were sleeping? There is a mystery in you that cannot be hidden, a quiet gravity that pulls without demanding, that invites without forcing. A woman can enter a room wearing the armor she has perfected in every other space of her life, shields polished from years of needing to appear untouchable. And yet, near you, without command and without effort, that armor loosens piece by piece. She cannot name why. She only knows that your gaze does not reduce her into shallow forms, but calls her toward the place within her that has been waiting to be seen. It is not lust that softens her voice or shifts her posture, for lust is everywhere and has long since grown hollow. What moves her is the discipline in you, the way your sexual energy does not lunge to consume, but radiates like firelight, steady, reverent, alive. It surrounds her with warmth without scorching, giving her freedom to step closer, to stay, or to walk away. And she knows, no matter her choice, your strength remains untouched. That is the part she cannot explain to anyone else. It is not dominance, though you could dominate. It is not submission, though she finds herself softening. It is the rare honor of knowing your acknowledgement is never reflex, never decoration, but something bestowed. This is where the transformation begins. Alone, she finds herself thinking of you, remembering not what you said, but what your presence made her feel. She realizes that in your field, surface tricks lose value. Her instincts shift from impressing to revealing, from performance to truth. She begins to measure herself not by applause, but by authenticity. She does not seek your approval because she has none of her own. She seeks it because when you give it, it feels like the universe itself has whispered, yes, this is who you really are. Your approval does not inflate. It steadies. It does not decorate. It roots. The smallest acknowledgement from you feels monumental because it is clean, precise, uncorrupted by lust or agenda. You have built an inner standard so high that when you see her, she knows she is truly seen, not distorted, not reduced. And this changes her. She begins editing her instincts in your presence, not to please you, but to honor what you have awakened in her. Your power is not in grand gestures, but in the rare economy of your gratitude. You never scatter it like confetti. You bless only what is real, and she knows the difference. Your no is never punishment. It is protection. Your silence is never rejection. It is invitation. Your yes does not possess. It commissions. And because it is rare, it becomes compass. This is why, chosen one, women stop bringing you glitter and start bringing you gold. They stop painting themselves in costumes and begin offering their substance. They no longer chase the applause of the world, for in your presence they have learned that the only attention worth keeping is the one that sees truth. Your gratitude feels like inheritance, not applause. Your approval feels like architecture, beams appearing where before there was only air. And beneath that structure, they find they can build without fear of collapse. This is the secret of your magnetism, not that you attract, but that you transform. You recalibrate the very instincts of those around you. Without ever instructing, you teach them to choose truth over theater, depth over decoration, substance over noise. And so, over time, they no longer seek your approval to know who they are. They seek it to confirm that who they have become is aligned with the standard you embody. And though you may never speak the words aloud, the effect is the same. Their instincts rise, their spirit steadies, and they live differently, not because you demanded it, but because you carried it. What if I told you that this is your gift, chosen one, that your presence alone makes the world quieter, truer, steadier, not because you controlled it, but because you blessed what had weight and refused to crown what could not endure? He looks for confirmation that she is giving her soul, her breath, her days to the right things. Around you, chosen one, her yes no longer reflects back like a mirror. It stretches forward like a map. Your no is not punishment, but blessing, closing gates that would have wasted her steps in soil too thin to hold roots. And you, chosen one, walk with the same steady rhythm, the same tempered strength, the same refined patience that makes such a life possible. Desire mastered by discipline, strength governed by stewardship, attention held under discernment. This is why women seek your approval, not to disappear inside it, but because your regard calls them into themselves. Your yes does not decorate, it constructs. It builds houses that can hold storms. It builds bridges that carry weary feet to safe shores. It builds rooms where truth can finally breathe without apology. And because of this, the world shaped by your presence becomes sturdier, kinder, truer, transformed, one carefully chosen word at a time. Chosen one, the very air around you carries a quiet demand. It does not shout, does not bristle, does not alarm, yet alters the chemistry of a room. It is not threat, but truth, and where truth abides, falsehood trembles. Jokes meant to hide loneliness unravel on their own. Cleverness that never risks sincerity grows weary and sits down. The curated mask, polished for attention, slips and searches for the door. What remains are steady eyes daring to meet yours, voices willing to speak plainly, bodies willing to stay present. Women feel this in their skin before they ever name it in their minds. Your sexual energy, refined and clean, does not chase performance. It does not feed on display. It bends only toward depth. It is patient with what is uncertain, but allergic to what is fake. Without lectures, without threats, without stage or sermon, you carry a standard that awakens something within them. They enter prepared to impress, yet find themselves confessing instead. Not secrets for spectacle, but truths aching to breathe. You never demanded this. You never asked for it. You simply refused to bargain with what is hollow. The old world taught them the bargain. Give brightness, keep smiling, offer performance, and you will be rewarded with attention. But in your company, the economy shifts. Brightness without origin dims under your gaze. A single unpolished, honest word glows like iron drawn from a forge. She discovers, often by accident, what your attention actually blesses. Not the polished ending, but the brave beginning. Not the perfect answer, but the trembling question. Not the posture itself, but the motive hidden beneath it. And when your gratitude rises, it strikes true, landing precisely where her courage first entered the room. In your presence, all value recalculates. Flattery, once cheap and easy, grows worthless. Precision, once difficult and slow, becomes treasure. You never announce this change. Your being enforces it. You hear when truth is trying to be born, yet cannot stand. And instead of mocking it, you lend your quiet strength. You let silence shoulder some of the weight. For silence is the anvil where authenticity hardens. She senses your regard is not a spotlight demanding performance, but a hearth giving warmth. And so she leans toward it, not because you require, but because the heat invites. Power lives in the way you cannot be dazzled. You are not cold, not cynical, only awake. You are not hypnotized by performance. Your eyes stay kind when the mask falters. They light with gladness when the real finally walks in. Rough, late, breathless, still clothed in work and sweat. She feels the difference deep in her nerves. The anxious chase for applause settles into quiet purpose. The laughter once used to cover fear changes into laughter that comes from relief. The instinct to compete falls away, replaced by the urge to contribute. Approval ceases to be a trophy for display. It becomes a tool for building. Gratitude stops being sugar. It becomes bread. You turn into a mirror that cannot lie. Not a cruel mirror that mocks, but a faithful one that refuses to collude. Even her brilliance, in your gaze, is asked to be honest. Because your desire is disciplined, it will not conspire with her hunger for shallow praise. It will not rend what it cannot respect. It will not consume what it cannot bless. It will not rush what is not yet right. That refusal, steady and rare, summons her into dignity. She stops arranging herself for applause. She begins arranging herself for truth. Over time, your quiet dement becomes her own. She edits the clever line that rang false. She exits the rooms where everything is priced, but nothing is valued. She chooses the costly yes over the comfortable maybe. And when she seeks your gratitude, it is no longer to medicate her wounds, but to consecrate her decisions. Your thank you lands like a seal on a letter carefully written. Your approval becomes the witness to vows she made in secret and now dares to live in light. You did not domesticate her, you dignified her. And what rises to meet you is not a perfected performance, but a person fully present. Your yes, chosen one, carries the weather of seasons. You do not force fruit out of winter. You do not demand harvest from spring. You watch the sap climb, the buds swell, the roots dig deep, a hidden labor that ensures sweetness later. Because you understand ripeness, your yes never arrives premature. It comes with quiet confidence, tested by motive, shaped by time, refined by pressure. And when it finally comes, it rearranges her within. She feels beams where there was once only sky. She feels floor where there was only trembling nerve. You never use approval to keep her bound. You use it to set her free. Praise given too quickly becomes a leash that demands more tomorrow. Approval given at the right time becomes a spine. She stands taller not for you, not for display, but because standing now belongs to her. Your sexual energy underwrites this architecture. Its warmth gives courage a place to grow. Its restraint keeps the atmosphere safe. Its gravity ensures clarity. Your yes is not bait. It is a landmark. It does not pull her toward you. It points her deeper into herself. When your yes comes, it is never vague. It is specific, as all true blessings are. You name the line that shed its costume and spoke plain. You name the angle that now holds true. You celebrate process without baptizing procrastination. You honor outcomes without worshiping applause. You keep the plumb line in your hand. And because of that, she learns to love straightness more than shortcuts. Your approval becomes instruction without condescension. Build more like this. You are not stingy. You are precise. Precision protects the sacred from inflation. Where approval is cheap, souls bloat and collapse. Where approval is rare but rooted in reality, souls grow strong in proportion to the truth they can carry. Your no carries the same dignity. It does not slam doors. It lays a hand on the blueprint, not that beam, not that angle, not at that pace. Because your desire is clean, your correction is safe. She feels you guarding the load-bearing walls. Integrity, motive, courage where skill meets truth. Your no preserves the ground where a worthy yes can one day land. She leaves your presence not smaller, but truer, not chastened, but clarified. As this rhythm continues, her pursuit of your approval shifts. It is no longer hunger for a stamp. It becomes reverence for inspection. She longs to know whether the house she is building can withstand weather, whether the bridge she is designing can carry lives, whether the room she is preparing with her gifts has air enough for honesty. When your yes finally lands, it does not bring a rush of adrenaline. It brings peace. It silences the appetite for spectacle. It awakens the appetite for stewardship. It does not make her dependent. It makes her dependable. Over time, the elegance with which you approve begins to echo. The women around you begin measuring themselves and each other by your unspoken scale. Not rivalry, but reality. They stop flattering to keep company. They bless to build foundations. They stop withholding to control. They wait for the right temperature of truth. They stop craving the high of being seen. They begin desiring the stamina of being sound. This is the culture born of your yes. This is the atmosphere shaped by your presence. It is not loud, but it is lasting. Beneath it all, your sexual energy continues its human, holy work. It keeps the room warm enough for risk, safe enough for restraint, alive enough for joy. It ensures approval never turns sterile, never becomes mechanical. It is always delivered eye to eye, breath to breath, heart to heart, as human promise, not management memo. When she hears your yes, she does not feel owned. She feels invited. She does not feel possessed. She feels partnered. She knows at once what to do. Not perform, but build. Not hurry, but deepen. Not impress, but endure. Thus, your approval becomes liturgy. Few words, placed with care, repeated only when truth requires it. And under that rhythm, hearts grow strong, work grows worthy, and love grows wise. She keeps returning to your gratitude because she has known the emptiness of shallow praise. She has worn applause like perfume, sweet at the doorway, sour by midnight. She has lived the high of being noticed and the crash that comes after. But your gratitude, chosen one, lands differently. It does not evaporate. It roots. It stays. It builds. It heals. It dignifies. It lasts.